WWE 2K26's universe mode is finally stabilizing itself, it feels like, after the first couple turbulent weeks that we've seen where nothing pretty much seemed to work. I think that we are at a point now where I feel that we can wrap up this universe mode series, talk about a lot of the stuff that we've been doing in my universe mode. Personally, I've been putting in hours and hours and hours. I'm at the point where on PlayStation, I have over 150 hours played on this game, and it's been a fun time. And I understand that the game has issues. That's obviously a problem on its own, but thus far universe mode feels like it's finally getting cleaned up. Now before we get into it, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. You guys have been enjoying the content. Let's go on ahead and get into it. In 2K26's universe mode, after the latest patch, one of the features that is not being talked about nearly enough is the wear and tear feature. I think that feature is so awesome because for tournaments, for promos, for double duty, I mean, anything that you want to do, it feels like the limitations are completely gone in terms of double booking a wrestler on the same night. It's just really a cool touch. And for me personally, I love the fact that you can do this because now I actually feel motivated to book wrestlers on the beginning of the night and then have them cut a promo at the end of the night. I mean, again, it's a bit unrealistic because things like that just don't happen too much, but we see all the time the backstage interviews right after a match, and we don't have the option for that in this year's universe mode. So sometimes I just want them to come out, cut a promo, let people know what they plan on doing next, and after a match, specifically with blood and bruises on them, that's honestly a pretty cool touch as well. Now, one thing that you guys want to make sure that you can do with this is King of the Ring tournaments, Queen of the Ring tournaments. I did a King of the Ring tournament. Jacob Fatu got busted open in one match. He came out the next match with his health bar low and him bleeding all over the place. It's one of those things where I think that you guys should definitely take advantage of it with the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournaments. And there's multiple different things that you can go on ahead and do with that. This is more so something that you might have not known, you might know, and if you don't like it, you can go in settings and just shut it off. But I have been using this to go on ahead and book my universe mode, and it has been working really well. And one thing as well that people have been asking is about promos, and especially on X, because sometimes I'll post pictures of my universe mode and what I'm doing. You'll see that the wrestlers have their promo attire in the ring while they're cutting their promo. That is super easy, y'all. In case y'all didn't know, you can go on ahead and go into universe mode, you can go into the roster and you can change everything there. And honestly, I kind of even missed this initially, but you can go in there, you can put PLE attires, promo attires, you can do whatever you want and you can set it up. Now for some people and for myself, it wasn't activating, but I did notice that on my active universe mode where you've played a couple weeks, or even if you skip a week, you may go on ahead and get it activated then, but it wasn't working at first for me at all. Now it completely is, so you guys can definitely go on ahead and use that. I personally love the whole booking style with getting wrestlers their own promo attire and everything. I did it for Oba, I did it for Cody Rhodes, I did it for Roman Reigns. I mean, I've done it for pretty much everybody that I would like to see out there cutting a promo, and there's multiple Randy Orton attires as well out there where he has the sweatpants and the RKO Everybody t-shirt. There's a lot of stuff that you can go on ahead and do with this, and one thing for me that I did want to point out is that I'm not sure if you guys feel this way, but I do, and I want to gauge your thoughts on that. If you are doing a brawl after a promo, I feel like it lasts too long because it's knockout only instead of first finisher wins, which I think that should be the way that it is. Perform first finisher to win, and that's it, instead of having to do a full-out brawl, because how many times does that actually happen in the WWE where you see a full-out brawl during a promo? Usually you see a finisher or a quick move done and you move on. So hopefully that is something that they give us the freedom to do. Let me know down below if you've been feeling that similar way, because I have, because I play on Legend and I really noticed how long these matches can go on ahead and last. But those are two things that I wanted to point out, show you guys how to do it, and something that I am using a lot to work through my universe mode and just use that creativity, and you guys can go on ahead and do that as well to push your universe mode to the limits. Now, one thing that I did want to go over are the match tables, right? And the reason why I want to go over the match tables is because, as you guys know, I don't really use them if you've been watching my videos for a while, but for those that don't understand how it works, I'd love to go on ahead and break it down for y'all. So let's go on ahead and get into that. So when you go into the match table, you will notice that there is so much stuff going on, especially if you go to the SmackDown one, which the SmackDown one I haven't edited yet, so you guys can go on ahead and see a difference. You guys will see there's a 6 superstar triple threat tornado tag, and just percentages of that. Now, I like to book my own universe mode. I don't like to see the universe mode get booked by the AI because I feel that it doesn't do a good enough job. This ain't WWE 12, but when you go in here and you go into the match table, you can clearly see that I made some changes. Now, the Fatal 4-Way, I did a 2% chance because I don't want my shows to end in Fatal 4-Ways, and if it does, I want it to be very, very rare. And then for the Triple Threat, you can see that there's an 8% chance, which again, I won't be doing much, but if it does happen, it happens. You know what I mean? And then you also have the 2-on-2, 30% for, you know, the match, but I also set that to the limit of 1. I don't want more than 1 tag team match on the show. I already dislike tag team matches in WWE games in general, so I'm not the biggest fan unless we're doing like a TLC or tornado tag or something of that nature. And for the one-on-one, we just want to go ahead and do that unlimited. We want to do a 60% chance at one-on-ones. That's the way that I like to book the universe mode, in my humble opinion. But, you know, you can do whatever you want with this, but this is more so just giving you guys an explanation of how it works. You got a 60% chance at one-on-ones happening, so that means your show is going to have a one-on-one for most of the card. Then you're going to have a 2-on-2 for at least, you know, a 30% chance of the card, which will mean that you at least get 1 tag team match as you put the limit at 1. And then you also have chances at Triple Threat and Fatal 4-Ways. But for a normal show, I like to leave it at that because we don't want nothing too crazy happening on a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown unless that's the type of universe mode that you intend on carrying. Because if so, if you want like a hardcore universe mode, you can go in here and just change this to Extreme Rules, and now you'll get mostly Extreme Rules matches during your shows. Now for the main event, this is the way that I paired up my match tables. I like a 25% chance at Extreme Rules just because I want the main event to be that way. Now it could be for a championship, it really just depends. But for the normal matches, I did put championship because I like to end my shows on a nice little championship main event. You know, I like to feel like I made the fans come for a reason. So I would like to leave that at that. The 2-on-2, we can do a championship match for a main event. That's the reason why I did it, because that's the only way that I would book a tag team match as a main event if it was for the championship. Same with the Triple Threat matches. You can do that for a championship. In a Fatal 4-Way, I already feel that it's chaotic enough where we can go on ahead and get away with leaving this just with no championship and just leaving this at a 5% chance, which if it happens, it's going to be very, very rare. Now that you guys have seen how it works, now if we go on ahead and go into, for example, and simulate, you guys will see how the show will go on ahead and pan out the very next week. And again, this is something I cover every year, so you may already know this, so this video may not be for you. But for those that don't know, here on mine, you see we have an Extreme Rules match to go on ahead and start the show, and then you have a bunch of one-on-one matches, but you only have 1 tag team match. That's what we wanted to go on ahead and do. So that is what it looks like right there. And if you guys want to go on ahead and simulate again, just to be on the safe side, just keep in mind Raw is my only custom match table at the very moment. We can go back in there and we can see one-on-one, Triple Threat, one-on-one, and then they have a Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship match, which again, I really like the way that this books it on its own, just my personal opinion. But you can go on ahead and remix this to however you like. I just feel that it was worth covering because we haven't covered match tables or anything like that. Now, one last thing that we want to go over before we get up out of here are the divisions. Divisions for me, man, I like to have about 6 to 7 people in a division because it's already hard enough to focus on so many wrestlers at the same time. And you guys already know I like about 35, 40 wrestlers on my roster. I don't rock with, you know, 50 plus wrestlers on the roster because it's just hard to manage. But there are different ways that you can handle divisions and whatnot. That's just the way that works. You know, the tag team championships, I've gone over that in previous videos. I've removed those completely out the universe mode, and I even shrink the tag team championships for the men into 1 title and just have tag teams go cross show. Again, it's one of those things that you will understand on how you want to do it yourself, but I always like to put out these tips in the way I do things because there's always questions, especially on the match table, because it's not the first thing that I cover usually on my setups. So we wanted to go on ahead and go over that. One thing we want to go over is that there is a Universe Pro website out there that is being done, and it is very, very good. I think that this is a very, very nice tool. You can use it off your phone, you can use it off the website, and it basically is a tracker for universe mode. You can do your rivalries, you can do whatever you want, and it's really one of those things where it's just useful, especially if you're somebody like myself that sometimes thinks of something and doesn't want to forget it. You can go on the app and then you can actually type it in there and save it. There's a lot of positive things with this tracker, and I just really wanted to give them a shout out because I feel that this is really good stuff that deserves the attention. And just the ability to share your universe creations with other people and they can see what you're doing and things like that. I think that it's a wonderful idea. And again, it is fantastic work and something that I have been really enjoying myself. That's just what it is with that, man. If you guys did enjoy this video, this will likely be the last of the setup series unless I find a better way to update things and book things in the future. But I wanted you guys to have this one. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. You guys have been enjoying the content. I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace.